5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella, and I'm so excited to be coming to you from my New York apartment. A lot of our travels have ended. You guys have been with me pretty much around the world, from my wedding in Vegas in April, then going on my honeymoon in Italy, being back and forth from Florida to the Bahamas, and now we are in New York. I actually was in Michigan over the weekend also to see my best friend for her baby shower. She's having twin girls, and it's just been such a crazy time. 2024 will definitely be a year that I never soon forget. And I just appreciate being able to come back and have another episode with you guys, because even though I've been so busy traveling, I am all caught up on all of my shows. I know all of the latest of all of the drama, and I have so much on the queue. So I really just want to get right into it this week. I want to start with telling you guys like the most insane story from the weekend. So it is my like LOL of the week too, which I have to really give the props to the Kardashians. Like, I realize, like, we know these ladies, like, we know who they are. They have been pretty much the exact same people that we met day one when they came onto our screen. So it's like, you know, the archetype of like each sister and Chris, and then how Kylie and Kendall are different than the other three, and where is Rob, and just, we know the Kardashian stories. They really feed it to us every single day. And I went into this season skeptical, just like any other season, because, let's be honest, it hasn't really been like appointment television for a few years, ever since they went to Hulu. Like, even though it's shot so beautifully now and aesthetically to watch it is it's so pretty. I mean, you can definitely see just like how much work they've all had, even in this last episode. Like, the filler is fillering. It's just a lot. You can't really blame them, because even just getting like tan sometimes, you ever just like don't realize how tan you are and you look crazy. Like, I'm sure fillers probably gonna be the same way. Like, sometimes you don't realize how much you have, and then if everyone else around you also looks like that, like, it's just different out on the West Coast. The Kardashians are just giving me a breath of fresh right now. They're the only like funny and light reality television that I'm viewing, and we're only on episode 4 this season, and I'm just already obsessed. And I wasn't expecting to really go into it. Like I said, I had low expectations for the season, but I'm really enjoying it. Like, Kim had her 43rd birthday this past week, and she's just wearing this like red, basically like it just looks like yarn or like twine. Lots of cutouts, lots of just everything popping, and she looks incredible. She really is the best she's ever looked right now, but it's like, obviously it's not like through just genetics and hard work. So it's just an interesting thing to like praise somebody for being so beautiful when we know that they have like completely sculpted themselves and like planned their bodies and their faces down to like the T to what they want to look like. So it's just a different beauty altogether. But it is very interesting to watch. Like I said, the way that they shoot it and the cameras that they're using, which, a little side note, the Real Housewives of Orange County trailer is out. And they also were talking about how they have like new cameras that they're using to shoot this upcoming season for Orange County. And I'm really excited about that. Like, it sounds like it's going to be a similar vibe where it's just like brighter, maybe more like Real Houses of Miami. So I'm really looking forward to that. But we'll come back to the Real Houses of Orange County. But I've been really loving the Kardashians. Scott, I really was trying to like bring down Scott a couple weeks ago. I'm like, okay, haven't we had enough? Like, the Mongiorno of it all, and him having it in his fridge. Like, this week, Khloe just calls him out straight up and is like, Scott, are you done losing weight? Like, I think you're done. He's like, just a few more pounds. You know, he's addicted to it too. Like, I can't imagine. I have no problem with Ozempic. I know many people that use it, and I'm just happy that I don't have to. But if you want to, I think that you should. And I think it really is like modern technology medicine that is just crazy. It's like shrinking people. So very interesting. That's another thing with the Real Houses of Orange County. Like, they talk about that a lot, how they're all on it, and they're all just so tiny now. I saw Shannon at BravoCon, and she was that was right after the DUI, and she was so skinny. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It wasn't like sickly. It was just shocking. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, she is the smallest person I've ever seen. So speaking of the smallest people, yes, the Kardashians also just keep shrinking, keep getting younger. This last episode, so Scott is cracking me up, which was my LOL of the week. Him coming in talking about how before Monjourno, he was addicted to eating those like Hawaiian rolls, which those are so bad for you. I would eat like one of those a year. But he was addicted to eating those, and then he said he was addicted to ginger ale because he didn't realize it was soda. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's got to be so much sugar in just a regular ginger ale, like a Schweppes or something. But he's like, yeah, but drinking 20 gingers a day. And like, Scott is just undeniably funny. Like, that is just such a quotable, like funny moment. Like, everybody just laughs when he's in the room and lights up. I'm happy that he's lost some weight. It seems like he's trying to find love again. Him and Khloe have that conversation about if they're just ever going to find people again. Are they going to be single forever? And I don't think so. I think that they will both find love. And when they're ready, the right people will come into their lives. You have to just trust. You have to, especially when you're a celebrity. Like, there's so many people around you, the Tristan of it all. Like, she's traumatized. So just let her do her thing for a little while. But yeah, speaking of the Kardashians, so the craziest thing happened this weekend, went viral, which was my first experience ever even having any type like of anything. So I started my account actually. It was basically right in the heat of the pandemic. Like, I want to say April 2020. I was sitting around. I was already, such a Bravo fan. I've been watching Bravo since 2005, 2006 maybe, whenever Orange County first started. And I just always used it like as an escape. I would always have TiVo and stuff too. Like, even back when TiVo was like available, like I would just record them and watch them. Even if I wasn't home, like on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever they were airing, like for some reason, every week to me just really became part of my routine. So I've been an OG fan since the beginning. And I just figured eventually, like, I got inspired by so many other creators. And I'm like, I would love to just start my own page and just see. I never even had thought about doing a podcast yet. Just like, let me just play around on Instagram and like see if I can try to get some followers and like put some memes out. And so I really did. I grinded on that for a while. And I actually like ended up archiving like half of my page because it became so old and like irrelevant, and I wanted to kind of do like a rebrand. So I probably did Bella Talks TV like a year ago, maybe. Like, I think it was right when I had to have had it for a little bit longer than this, but right when I went to BravoCon New York, I think too was also around the time that I felt inspired to like start my page. So I've been working on it for a little while. But I had about 450 followers, which to me were so important to me. Like, I always would think about my page or like anything I would do as an audience being like, okay, if I were to go to a place that had 450 people at it, like that would be huge. If there's 450 people following me every day, basically like watching, then that's a huge platform. So I was always proud of me for already even having that. And I just post whatever random stuff that I come up with. And even as far as like what Bravo is or like what teams I choose or what sides or opinions I do tend to take, like I'm always changing and evolving. And like, I don't really have like that many stands, and I appreciate what other people are thinking too. So it's like, I just try to give my point of view and be as authentic as possible. And I feel like I always kind of knew, like, if you just follow your heart and you just post whatever you want and you just, as long as it's making you happy and you laugh, like, that's really all that's important. So that's really like the vibe I try to post with. And I don't even know why this moment just caught my eye so much. But when I was watching the Kardashians and I saw North walk in with Kim, and Malika's there, and she gave her this side eye that, I mean, you just can't deny it. Like, I watched it 50 times. I was cracking up laughing. I'm like, let me just take a little like snippet of this, like a 20-second little snippet of this and put it on my page. And before I knew it, I woke up in my phone. Everybody from Khloe Kardashian herself was liking this video. So I was freaking out. I've never had a video like that, like go viral like that. Like, now officially, I'll check it together because I actually haven't looked at all today. I try not to even look at it. But I think that this will be interesting because the whole process of like having a viral video and just the weird feeling of it, knowing that like certain people around the world are looking at it, something that you made. It's just really weird. But as of today, this video has gotten 26.9 million, 599. So basically 600,000 likes. So 600,000 people had to double tap their phone to like this, which is crazy. 12,700,000 comments. Crazy. 60.4K have sent it to each other and DM'd it. And then 34,000.1 have saved it. So it has reached 10,620,570 profiles. It's had over 700,000 real interactions. And it's had 5,789 profile activity, which I believe is people that followed me from the reel, and they might have already unfollowed me because my profile doesn't even show that many followers yet. But this is like my first time ever learning about any of this stuff, and I just want to show like this is really on here. Like this really happened. So crazy. So it's just been an experience. I had to literally turn off my notifications, and like I can't even take a nap because I have so many people commenting, liking this. And obviously it's not like an original idea. Like I'm not in the video. I don't even say anything. I don't know if this is a combination of my caption, which the caption was, if North side-eyed me like this, I would just move to another country because I'd never be able to show my face again. Because just the way that she did that, hilarious. So apparently when you go viral, there is like a whole section of verified people that you can look through. And I've never had this happen to me either. So I was just like looking through all the verified people that were commenting and liking it. And then that's how I found out Khloe had liked it. And then I started getting like so freaked out about the fact that I'm like, okay, I know Khloe. Khloe's home with somebody right now. So whoever she's sitting with, she probably sat and told, oh my God, did you see this like hilarious video of North? Now, was it Kim? Could she possibly be with Kim and Kim knows about this video? Could she be with Scott? I'll take a Scott. Like, I would like to know what Scott's reaction was to the video. Did he laugh at like what I clipped in my caption? Was she with Malika, which kind of is like what the video's about? And was Malika like mortified because everybody knows that North is giving her this look? Like, I started thinking, what if it's Chris? What if Chris knows? What if Kris Jenner knows about my video? So it was a really cool experience. I'm so glad I got this little like boost from the universe to just like keep doing what I'm doing and keep just like authentically posting about random shit that probably nobody, that I would think nobody would care about. But I guess this is validation that like a lot of people are they're thinking about it too. So that was a really fun experience over the weekend. And that was my LOL of the week. Just the whole thing. Scott making me laugh. I want to also just mark my words. And you see in this latest episode, Kim goes to jury duty. And she's like, I basically cannot believe it that they haven't dismissed me yet. She's like, because I have such a strong opinion about the justice system and everything. And I don't want to send anybody to prison, pretty much no matter what they did. She's like, and, that's like very important to me. And she's going to take the bar 2025, she said. She's already passed the baby bar. She's going to take the bar in 2025. And she is going to run for president. It might not be right away, but eventually it's going to happen. And she's going to run a lot on this prison reform. And it's just a very interesting thing because obviously if Donald Trump can be president, celebrities, they can be presidents. Mexico now has a woman president. So, I mean, I think it's time. I think Kim could be our president, like it or not. Okay, so anyways, let's get into my OMG of the week because it's kind of like a right turn alert, and it's a really crazy, and we don't really know all the facts. It is being disputed. So let's go down to Atlanta. Real Housewives of Atlanta is filming now, and Kenya Moore is back on our screen. We've seen a lot of teases about Kenya and Portia being frenemies this season, and I don't really know what is going to happen on this season because it sounds like there has already been a lot of drama with filming. And Kenya may have crossed the line this weekend at one of her events because there's a new girl, Brittany Eady, and she is reported to be like a high-end escort, I guess. And there are rumors or receipts or something, allegedly that she has been doing this and that her rate was like close to $50 a day. And I think maybe she was saying like Young Jeezy or something confirmed this. I love the Real Houses of Atlanta. Don't get me wrong. Like I think it's been a flop for a little while. I'm very, very upset that Sheree is not coming back. Sheree to me is Atlanta. So I'm disappointed about that, but we're going to have to just see what happens. But apparently Kenya tries to reveal all this information about Brittany and some other things maybe having to do with insurance fraud or like if this girl is involved in any type of illegal activity. Allegedly, I don't know exactly what's going on down there, but there are a lot of rumors circulating, and that just kind of had my jaw on the floor. Like that does sound like something Kenya would do. Kenya goes below the belt. Kenya is frightening. I just want to warn everybody now. I have a feeling I'm not going to be on Team Kenya this year. Even though she's my Michigan girly, she's from Detroit, and I want to love her, but I have to just say, like, it doesn't play the Housewives game like the way that I typically love a housewife to play it. So she just is a little too dirty. So we'll see if any of this is true. I mean, there were some receipts, there was some leaked audio, there were also some pictures that people took of these poster boards that apparently have been displayed with all these rumors on them. Like, Kenya. See, this is what happens. Like when we enable these housewives that are like, they're literally thirsty with power and they're just using it for evil, and we enable them and then we hype them up and we like say that it's like queen behavior and we're like slay. It's like, no, I don't like that. I actually don't like that type of behavior because these ladies need to be called out and they need to be able to apologize and they need to be able to like move on from things. And you can't be cutting so deep that you're unable to apologize. This is supposed to be like not below the belt. This is supposed to be little like, a little like on the chin. Like it's not supposed to be so aggressive. So I'm going to need all the housewives to like take a deep breath, dial it back. Let's get back to being fun. And so stay tuned for some more thoughts I have on Housewives. That was my OMG of the week, the Real Houses of Atlanta, the whole Kenya situation. And I don't know. We'll have to just stay tuned and see what happens on the season. But I'm not sure what I'm thinking about it yet. I'm not sure. So let's hop right over and get into my top 5 countdown of the week. The top 5 most talked about reality TV moments. Bravo. I got a little bit of Netflix in here and some other Peacock things happening. So we have a lot of things to get to. The number 5 most talked about moment of the week is actually coming from our Netflix cinematic universe. And we have to talk about the premiere of Perfect Match. So if you guys aren't a Love is Blind girly or guy that's here watching, I really, really highly suggest you just go on. There are 7 seasons, I think, 6 or 7 now. So you have a little bit to catch up, 6. I think they're filming 7. And you've got some time to catch up. Go on and watch. It is one of the most addicting shows. These people meet blind. They never see each other. They have to get engaged without ever seeing each other in order to be revealed. And then as soon as they meet, they're able to go on like a little trip together with all the other couples though. And it immediately gets messy. It's just one of the best shows ever. So with Perfect Match, basically what they're doing is they're taking celebrity reality TV stars from all the different Netflix shows. So it's not just Love is Blind, but it's also Too Hot to Handle, which for me, like, I don't know if it's just, I watched like the beginning of Too Hot to Handle. I think I watched the first and second season, but after that, I just couldn't take it anymore. Like I just don't know. I don't know why I can't get into it. And sometimes I have a hard time with like so many accents. Number 2, I'm not a Love Island person. And so I feel like sometimes it can get a little bit like too similar. I don't know. But we're going to see. I am going to try to give Love Island USA a chance this year because Ariana is going to be the host. But we'll have to just see how that goes. But they basically get also from The Mole, The Circle. There's a show called The Trust. I guess these are all Netflix competition shows. And I want to try to get maybe into some of these other shows. These people are really interesting, these characters that they collect to make this Perfect Match show. But they grab all these singles, they put them all together. There's also a show called like Dating and Related. I don't know if it's like brothers or cousins or or what. Like there's all kinds of crazy reality going on Netflix, and I didn't realize like how many different shows there were. So I'm going to have to start getting over and getting involved in that a little bit more. But I really, the first season of Perfect Match was so good. Like to me, so it was Francesca, who to me is a reality TV star. I know now that she just had a baby with her partner, Jesse, and like, you know, I don't know if she's ever going to be back on reality TV. It's like RIP, because she was truly a star. She was one of the most dynamic and, to me, like engaging reality TV stars I've ever seen. I don't know what it was about her, but like when she's on TV, you have to just watch her. So I'm kind of sad that she's not going to be around now for a little while. I know that she said that she was trying to get cameras to follow her pregnancy and follow, you know, everything that happened afterwards, and kind of go over too. I know that I'm not sure if Jessie is like fully transitioned or if they are still in the process of having more surgeries and hormones to complete the transformation process for them. They do have a very interesting household, and I would definitely watch a show about them. So just putting that out there. But of course, Francesca's not on this season, but what they do is they bring Harry Jowsey on, which we know he's like the male version of Francesca, and every single reality star wants to also be with him. Every girl wants to be with him. It's inevitable that when he comes into the room, like he's going to be the basically number one guy in the group. So he comes. So then they also bring Dom, who, as we know, Dom and Francesca in Perfect Match season 1, they were together for a short while and have some history. So it's crazy. And then, so Dom wins Perfect Match season 1, spoiler alert. And then when he wins with Georgia, they win together, they leave together, and then Georgia cheated on Dom with Harry. So this is like a messy triangle that's going on in this Love is Blind, Too Hot to Handle, this whole situation. You guys need to go watch this. So the whole premiere was pretty good. The Harry and the Dom situation of them both being there. There's also Micah and Izzy are there from Love is Blind. And I just miss Shane. I wish Shane was there. I wish Khloe was there again. They really made season 1 for me, Shane and Khloe. It was just a really good season last season, so definitely go back and watch, and then that way you can get into season 2. It's not as good for me so far, but I'm hoping it will ramp up. And that was my number 5 most talked about moment of the week. And my number 4 kind of is on the same tip. Like, I'm really trying to watch some shows that are a little bit lighter, not so dark, not so crazy, because Bravo right now is in a very dark period for me, and I think that they just like, I don't know if it's the editing and the producing that's going on Bravo, but everything is just really, it's like they're really finding like the worst possible storylines. There's really no fun being had. There's not a bit of fun to be found on the whole network. So why I'm getting into that is because the Real Houses of Dubai is back. And they really, for me, are bringing this light and airy Housewives again. This like fun, fashion, friends. It's just really what I needed. I'm so excited that the Real Houses of Dubai is back. So for a few reasons. One, I am a Stan Barry. I love her so much. I didn't realize, like, from Ladies of London, of course, she was obnoxious back then and just very rich and very uppity. And now she's proven, like, the money is real. She actually doesn't, she's still always going to be Caroline Stanbury. She can't not be her. She's, again, one of these authentic reality TV stars. It's like she can't help but be anybody but her. She's just doesn't have a fake bone in her body. So that's why it's like love her or hate her. And I think for a while, like I did see why everybody would hate her, but now I'm just obsessed with her. Like her, Sergio, her like just being over him this season. And it's like they just got married last year. So I imagine that she will have multiple husbands. Which is another reason why I love her. And then there's the Chanel. Chanel Ayan is a spectacle in herself as well. She's just an undeniable personality, and she is star power. I know at BravoCon, a lot of people were over her because she had a huge line, and she would only take pictures with you if you spent money at her booth. And I mean, that's a little shady, but hey, she is, again, like, she's from Africa. She doesn't fuck around, and she is going to definitely be like, these are the rules. If you don't like my rules, then don't be in my life. So I have to always give respect to Chanel. And Sarah, a lot of people are getting, Sarah and apparently Caroline Brooks allegedly said some racist comments, maybe are I guess, anti-Semite because they, at least the comments that they made are pointing that way because of the fact that they are supporting the war. And it's just some of the comments that they're making are not landing, and they're not denouncing that, and they're not apologizing. And so I have to say, like, until I'm more educated on this topic, like, I can't really speak on their opinions. But I do know that Sarah has got to be like one of the most self-awareness queens ever. Like, for somebody being so spiritual, so internal, so mature, so worldly, so intelligent, she really comes off like such a crazy loon. The guy that was doing the shaman ceremony with her, that's like from Fort Lauderdale, like, I don't understand what was going on in that scene. And I am like a new agey person. I'm actually a yoga teacher. Like, I love yoga and I love the Western world. He takes it to another level, and I could not handle watching her during that. Like, that was so cringy to me. And it seems she's made some really problematic comments, and that really disappoints me. I love her little son, Matuk, and he's one of my favorite little side characters. So I just want the best for him. I want her to find love with a respectful man. It sounds like she's really picked some bad ones in the past, and I want the best for her, but I can't obviously deny that she can't seem to get her mouth to say the right things. I can't support her right now, but I'm just really loving Dubai being back. The new girl Talene was giving me Jen Aiden vibes, and she apparently was signed to a label, and she really had a career on herself, but she chose love, and she chose to move to Dubai. And I have to say, I'd probably do the same thing. So I don't blame her. She was like, you know what? I'm not going to be like the next Britney Spears. I probably got another good year left in me in LA. I might as well just quit now. So I kind of love her so far. We're going to have to see though with her, because she is Caroline Brooks' bestie. Looks like they start to get into a little bit of fight later in this year too. But please go watch it so you can come back and talk about it with me every week, because it looks good. And then that brings me down to now my number 3 most talked about moment of the week, which is the release of Peacock's Traitors cast list. So there's a lot of good ones on here. I see people hating on it. I'm obsessed with it. So first, before we even get into the rest of the cast list, we've got to talk about Lindsay and her involvement in this whole Traitor situation, because, allegedly online, the rumors really state that Lindsay is pregnant currently, and she was supposed to go to be on Traitors, and she didn't tell anybody, including production or anybody, and just decided that she would just not tell anybody, and she would go and keep it a secret. And probably by the time it was done filming, which is probably only 3 weeks, maybe she thought she would get away with nobody being able to notice. Because if you also haven't noticed, she is extremely thin right now. So I imagine that even if she is pregnant, and I'm saying this not to speculate, I mean, it's basically confirmed that she is. And I'm hoping everything is healthy and that this is going to be her dream come true. I'm not having any bad wishes on Lindsay or her baby, but I'm just saying these are the rumors that she went to Scotland pregnant. She had to be sent home because Dorinda found out that she was pregnant, which I'm assuming they were rooming together. And, Lindsay, she can't keep a secret to save her life, which is actually good. I think I like that quality in her. But she needed to tell somebody, and she told Dorinda, which on the way, by the way, did you see that when they announced the cast, Peacock had a typo and they put Dorlinda, not Dorlinda. I was crying laughing. I think I'm going to have to call her Dorlinda forever now. But Dorinda, she must have been rooming with her and told her, and it got out. And then Dorinda told producers, and then Lindsay got sent home, and then Sierra was sent there the next day, I guess. Those are the rumors. I'm not skinny but not fat, I believe, is the source for this. Lindsay said that I think she was asked, if Gabby's riding so hard for you, how come you weren't at Gabby's birthday, which was May 8th? And Lindsay replied, I had to meet my boyfriend's parents. That was the only day that I could meet them, and I had to meet them. To me, that means she's pregnant. She had to meet his parents. You have to just remember, Lindsay went on a few dates with this guy before she met or started dating Carl. And then it went the way that it went. And then she basically picked back up with him. She called it a boomerang. And I think she got pregnant maybe one of the first times she saw this guy again, allegedly. So it's they barely know each other. And I'm sure she has to meet his family and get prepared to bring a man into this world or bring a child into this world. I don't know why I said man. Maybe it's going to be a little boy. But we will see. We have to wait for her to announce this. I know it's not cool to like speculate, but let's be honest, there's not like thousands of people listening to this podcast. So I think between you guys, we can keep a secret until she announces it. And then that brings me to the rest of the cast. So we obviously have Dorinda, and then we have Gabby Windey from The Bachelorette, who is like one of my favorite bachelorettes of all time. I'm obsessed with her. Her partner is a comedian, and I just like love them together. They seem truly so cute and in love. And I would love to see her do well in this competition. We have Dolores there, which I didn't realize Dolores flips on Teresa this season, which we're going to talk about Jersey in a little bit. But I didn't realize this, and people are really hating on Dolores. So I still love, I was never a Dolores, like huge fan. To me, she doesn't really like have that much personality, but I do think that she is an important part of the cast. I don't think that she's important enough to still be in the reboot, but I do, appreciate everything that she's given to us. But if I have to see that softball game one more time, no. And I just am interested to see like maybe her and Dorinda will be friends. I don't know. And then, of course, there's the big worm with the mustache in the room. Tom Sandoval is in the Traitors Castle. And the man's been gone for days, and there's already so much shit hitting the fan because he's gone, which is hilarious. It was like, as soon as he was on the plane to Scotland, Billy Lee was like, I don't think he has Wi-Fi right now. Like, hit record, let's go. And I'm bringing Joe with me, why was Joe there? Why was Joe there in that podcast? What an annoying human. I'm sorry. It's not an ADD thing. I have many friends and family with ADD, ADHD, autism. So I'm not neurodivergent shaming her. I think that she is highly annoying, and she interrupts everybody constantly. And I would not be able to handle that. But yes, Tom Sandoval is in the Traitors Castle. I imagine he's going to get voted out pretty quickly. Last season, if you guys remember, Johnny Bananas got kicked off immediately because people were just like, he's annoying. We don't want to deal with him. So I think they'll probably just get rid of him really fast and not even really give him a chance to compete because no one's going to want to be around him. And that's kind of my prediction for him. And then, so let's go back to talking about Billy Lee for a second. Tom goes to Traitors. Tom's current girlfriend, Victoria Lee Robinson, everyone likes to be like, Leonardo DiCaprio's ex-girlfriend. I mean, let's be honest, he has a billion ex-girlfriends. I don't remember them all. I don't even know all of their names. So she was one of them. And apparently she's dating Tom Sandoval. Now, why would be the reason? Of course, for some clout, maybe to be on the show. Like, no respectable woman, I think, would ever date him right now. He's truly the most unattractive person to me. First of all, between the mustache, the way that he's been styling his hair, like whatever steroids or like fillers he's been getting to his face. I don't know if he's just lost a ton of weight. So in the way that like Carl has, where people are like grossed out, like that sober weight that's been lost. Or I don't know. There's just a lot of different reasons why I'm unattracted to Tom Sandoval right now. I would say the number one reason why would probably be the nail polish. Like the nail polish has got to go. And same with Dom on Perfect Match. Like you would literally be 50% hotter if you would just take off the nail polish. All right, please. We don't need it. We don't want it anymore. It creeps us out. I don't really know anybody personally that's like looking for that. So I wonder if Craig's nail, can we confirm if Craig Conover's nail is still painted or if Paige has allowed that to continue? Because I would be shocked if that's still going on. So yeah, that was my number 3 most talked about moment. The Traitors cast kind of / Tom Sandoval and Billy Lee and the drama of it all. I don't know why he's dating this Victoria girl. From what Billy says on this podcast, it sounds like they're doing a lot of drugs together. She accused them of being vampires where they sleep all day and then get up when it's dark out, only party and do drugs all night, and then sleep in bed the whole day. That sounds like the most scary and toxic relationship ever. She literally said there were drugs everywhere all over the house, that they wanted to move into Ariana's room. There were a lot of accusations flying on that podcast. To me, I listened to all of it. I think everything she said was true. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think that she's just saying this because she's trying to promote her upcoming comedy tour. I cannot imagine that would be really the true reason why she would release all of this. I think that they tried to stage an intervention. He didn't show up. He tells everybody he feels sick every day, which is really, really sad. And that's why he doesn't show up to things. And they tried to do an intervention. He didn't show up. And I think that since they didn't get a chance to tell him that they're like worried about him, she just literally went to the public and basically was like, maybe this will get him to address all of this and like wake up to what he's doing. I think this would have happened to him last summer if he would have not been sober when filming. Because as soon as it sounds like he starts drinking and doing drugs again, it's been bad. And remember back when he was on Nick Viall's podcast and he was like an hour late and he showed up like all messed up. So this has clearly been going on for a while. And I think that they're trying to like get through to him. So just want to at least send well wishes to that, because if there's one thing that like makes me so mad and disgusted, is when people wish other people to overdose or die. I know that sounds like who would say that, but trust me, I read other trolls and the stuff that they say about Carl and the stuff that they say about, you know, any person that's trying to be sober, Lala, whoever, they are always like, there's really trolls out there praying that they relapse. And it's really sad. So let's try to keep it positive out there. And if you're one of those people doing that, please stop. And okay, so yeah, let's move on to my number 2 most talked about moment of the week, because again, it talks about some online rumors that are truly unbelievable and my jaw's on the floor. We've got to go back to Jersey. The Real Houses of New Jersey is just under so much scrutiny and fire right now. I can't believe that we have a lot to get into with this. I can't even believe. One is that we don't have the reunion filming. Andy's going to possibly do these sit downs. It doesn't sound like it's going to be the end of Real Houses of New Jersey. It does sound like there is a half reboot coming that is going to be similar to what they did in Atlanta. I don't really consider that a reboot, because I consider that to be like New York, where they literally fired everybody and got all new people. So I think that this is just, you know, making some casting switches, and they're going to keep New Jersey. My guess is that they're going to have to get rid of both Teresa and Melissa. And then just keep Rachel, Margaret, Jen Fessler, Jackie, and then some new girls, some of these new girls that they're trying out. That's probably how they're going to move forward. Danielle will stay. That's really just me sitting here right now sorting my thoughts out. Like, that's a real-time prediction. I have no idea what's really going to happen, but there's absolutely no way to me. Like, for the first time ever after last night's episode, when Teresa was on Watch What Happens Live, Andy, for the first time, seemed like he was over her. When he straight up asked her, like, do you want to address the fact that you and Jen, there's literally screenshots of you guys talking to bloggers and leaking stories from the storylines during filming, so that you can then go online or you can go on the show then and be like, well, see, like, we didn't actually start a rumor because we saw the rumor that it was already online on the blogs. So now we can bring it up on TV. So I hope that makes sense of like why they would be doing this, because then they're able to bring it up on the show, because they didn't like basically tell a secret that's important to somebody's family. They are saying like, oh, it's already out there. So, but it wouldn't be out there if they weren't putting it out there. And it's just this hamster wheel back and forth again and again with Jen and Teresa, and now Jackie's getting pulled into it. And even Margaret, I guess, is guilty of doing this. And I'm not like a Margaret stan. I'm not somebody who's like, okay, if you're Team Teresa, then you can't be Team Margaret. Like, I don't think Margaret's perfect either. I think that she's also guilty of trying to fight fire with fire. I don't think she started it, but I think that she was like, fine, fuck it. Like, if they're going to do this to me, I'm going to do this to them. And she started to fight back. And then that's when Jan died. And that's probably when she was like, okay, like, I literally can't fight like this anymore. And I'm just going to ignore them. Melissa, to me, is just the best way. She handles it the best. Like, she just shows up and is like, whatever. Hey, Teresa. Yep. Okay. Another day of filming. Like, she kind of doesn't really care. I'll never forget at the last year's reunion when Teresa was like, yeah, I'm never going to see you again. And Teresa was like, oh yeah, where am I going? And she's like, yeah, you're going to be fired. And she's like, okay, yep. And just kind of like lets her say what she has to say and doesn't even try with her. People taking the high road is very important. But it seems like they're going to have to just get rid of them. I don't think that it's going to be possible to continue maybe Melissa will be able to be like a friend of in the future. They'll probably give Teresa like her own show, but I don't know, because like I said, on Watch What Happens Live, Andy seems to be very annoyed with her when he gives her the chance to address this, and then when she just starts lying and being like, no, it wasn't me, it was Margaret. There's no prove it. There's no proof. And he just goes, okay. And she's like, yeah, obsessed. Yeah, they're obsessed with me. And Andy was like, yep, okay. Coming up next. And he just kind of like moved on. And I'm like, wow, it does seem like he's finally like had enough. So I have no idea what's going to happen. Those are my wishes and my predictions. But that's not all that's going on in Jersey. So one of the other storylines that they're presenting to us this season is with Dolores and Paulie. It's been 3 years now. We know that Dolores wants to have a ring. Joe Gorga said she wants to be driving in a Rolls Royce every day, like having the day off. Like, what woman doesn't? So can you blame her? And obviously Paulie has money and he lives in this incredible home. And, I just think that she's ready to be with him. And Paulie will not get divorced. And he keeps telling her on camera, there's 2 funny moments here. One, she's like, basically pressing him to be like, what's taking so long? And he's like, Dolores, I think it takes this long to get divorced, like 3 years. And she goes, no, Paulie, I don't think that. And they both are tinking off and like saying tink instead of think. And it is one of the weirdest moments ever. I don't know why Dolores was like doing that. That was so funny. But then they continue this conversation and Paulie gets very heated. He even drops an F-bomb and is basically like, get off my fucking back about getting divorced. And I've heard some rumors on Reddit of maybe why he's not divorced yet. And my jaw was on the floor. So this is just alleged. And again, like I don't feel like that many people are going to not tell my secret here. But I read online that the reason why he can't get divorced is because him and his wife have an illegal business together. They can't just like get divorced and take all their earnings and like have W-2s or whatever to take to like a divorce lawyer or whoever, the court to get divorced. Like they can't be like, oh, this is half of mine, half of hers. Like they have no way of like splitting up their assets because it's an illegal company. So, and the company, I will just say it's not what you think. It's probably worse. I really don't even want to say it because I was going to, and then I really thought about it. Like, I don't even want to put it out there into the world until, but if you really want to know, go on Reddit. I'm sure you'll find it. But it's just interesting. It's very different than what Teresa went to prison for. It's not any type of like mortgage fraud or loan or any like type of financial thing. So it's just a very interesting accusation. And I just really want to know the answers. And I want to know if that is the reason why Paulie can't get divorced. And I just hope that Dolores is going to be smart enough to take this time where she's on Traitors and think about him and maybe be like, I don't care if he has a sick townhouse. I don't think it's worth it to be with this guy, because now that I've just like been looking at him a little bit longer, like spending more time with him on our screens, like I do not trust him as far as I can throw him. So he can go right where Louis can go. And I'm actually going to be the only person glued like appointment television every Sunday. So when Teresa sat down with Rachel and John Fuda this past episode, that was just like so disappointing to me, because to finally get them to sit down, and the fact that I would have liked, I know Louis' strategy is to basically just like not talk on camera, because he pretty much knows, well, he only talks in the scenes where he's like at home with Teresa. But whenever he's like in a public setting, like he literally doesn't say anything, and that's just going to be his strategy. Like he's gray rocking us, which I kind of don't blame him. But I would have liked him to jump in a little bit more. I would even say it wasn't even like taking bait. He just was not going to engage with John. And Teresa kind of just kept putting her foot in her mouth. And also the Fudas also weren't good at like explaining exactly why it was frustrating. So like they all just can't communicate. And I see why they don't ever make up about anything, and why this is probably just going to come to an end, because it's like you guys literally can't have one adult conversation. Like it's impossible. So what are we watching? So I don't know. I'm just ready for it to end, and I'm ready to already just see where it goes and move on. So that was my number 2 most talked about moment of the week. And we're going to keep it on Bravo. And we have got to talk about the number 1 most talked about moment. There's so much in this topic too. I can't believe it. I hope that this is like goes Vanderpump Rules style where we're like still talking about it weeks after it's done, because Summer House reunion, it's only a 2-parter. In 2 days it's going to be over, and I'm not ready. And I just am so sad because I want them to immediately start filming and get a new season to us as soon as possible, because there's so much going on. So we already talked about the Lindsay pregnancy rumors. She said to Glamour magazine in Lindsay's, interview, which was the online magazine, and she said that she would film Summer House till she was 100 years old. And we know that Lindsay plans on being married with children. So that obviously means that she plans on still filming if she's pregnant or if she has kids or if she's married. Maybe she plans on, doing that. But I can't imagine that if she is offered a role to come back, that she will not take it no matter what's going on in her life. And then same with Carl. Carl's definitely coming back. Carl is Summer House. So he's also coming back. And Kyle and Amanda are definitely coming back. Paige is definitely coming back. I imagine after this big thing of Sierra, this resurgence of love for her after everything that went on with her and West, which, check the receipts, I've never had an opinion about this guy. To me, he was like watching Toast. So I don't know why everybody was so into him. But apparently with everything going on with Sierra and West is definitely coming back. And we know people are obsessed with Jesse Solomon. So that's the whole cast minus Danielle. I think Danielle could be on the chopping block, unfortunately. Gabby, I would actually like to see go, but I know that that's not necessarily nice to say. I just don't like that she hitched herself to Lindsay's wagon. I would have, just to be frank, I just would have liked her more if she would have been able to get along with everybody and be able to at least try to not just pick a team and like be a minion, like to really forge her own path and like have enough of a backbone, I hate to say, to just be down with everybody, because I don't know. I just don't like the moves that she made. They seemed strategic and not authentic. So I'm just not sure. And if it is authentic and she's really that much like-minded to Lindsay, like I don't think that necessarily makes me like her anymore. I'm still unsure how I really feel about Gabby. I do think she's super cute, and I think that a lot of her outfits, I really love her sense of style. So I want to not give up on her, but we'll have to see. So a lot went on in the reunion. The Sierra and the West of it all got sorted out. Like I said, I wasn't really that invested in them, but I am happy to see Sierra having a little bit more of her own voice. It has been like 5 seasons. And I miss Luke. I wanted to say I would love to bring Luke back. I am not sure if him and Tayshia are still dating. I famously saw them back at a bar together in like December, and I was so excited to see them in real life in New York. And that was the last time I've seen them or heard from them. So I'm not sure if they're still together or not. And then, of course, there's so much Lindsay and Carl to still be sorted out in this upcoming episode. I think that there was clearly everybody got together before this, and they talk about these like pre-reunion meetings. It's clear to me that there was like a group chat, or like there was definitely some agendas that everybody was bringing into this reunion to kind of like show that Lindsay is not who she says she is. From exposing the thing about the paparazzi to exposing the thing about her trying to sabotage Paige's photo shoot at her friend's restaurant. I mean, even going back to last BravoCon, there's the talks of, remember when Sheena did Squash the Beef, because there was like a time when Ariana was in New York and Lindsay was desperate to get Ariana to come to her friend's restaurant so that she could call the paparazzi and that her friend could get the business. Like, we know Lindsay works in PR, so a lot of people need to just remember that she is very strategic and calculated in the way that she thinks, and that doesn't have to necessarily be a bad thing, but she should just own it and be like, yeah, I'm a genius. Like, I see these moments and I want to give my friend some business, and I love Ariana as my girl, and like, yeah, it's good for everybody involved. She should just be owning it. But I don't know, she, for some reason, like, she gets that look on her face, like she's been literally doing this like funny look where she can't believe the random things that people brought to the reunion to bring up to her. She was not prepared. They kind of knew that they were going to like catch her off guard with some of these arguments because they weren't the typical talking points from things that happened over the season. And then the whole thing with Lindsay throwing Danielle under the bus about writing the article about Craig being kicked out of the wedding. They're still talking about that 2 years ago. And that is also a big deal and a big reason why Paige has so much animosity towards the both of them. And they're just seem to be really into using the media in kind of like leaking stories, posting pictures with an agenda, like not just being like a true, authentic friend. And that's just not how the rest of these girls roll. They're not really addicted to the fame and wanting to be relevant all the time. They do other things. And let's be honest, like everyone's always like, oh, what jobs does everybody have? It's like they're on the show, like that is their job. And then they're obviously trying to make extra money by selling stories or getting brand endorsements. Like that is their main job. They don't really have companies, believe it or not. I want the best for Don. I want for Danielle's clothing app. I really want the best for it. Like I would never say anything bad about a woman starting a business and like wanting it to fail, but like it is definitely not going to change the world, and it's definitely not something that we really needed. So it's like Godspeed to you, but there's no way that we can pretend that the success of whatever Lindsay has built versus Danielle versus Paige, I mean, it's like versus Loverboy. I mean, those are real businesses that are thriving. Giggly Squad is like a real tangible thing that people go and do and spend money on, that Paige makes money from. It's just like nobody can really compete with that. And the facts are just in the numbers. I think, unfortunately, Lindsay's really good at figuring things out for other people, but she hasn't been able to figure that out for herself and find a way to like really promote herself in a positive way where people are going to like her and want to spend money on her. And I don't know, it's just been a very cloudy time to watch Summer House with all of the Lindsay versus Carl rhetoric, because I have been on the minority side of the opinion, but I'm happy to finally see this all come to an end next episode. I want everybody to heal and move on. It sounds like Lindsay's on a great path. It actually looks like everyone's like really hating on Carl. They were all in Italy for Andrea's wedding over the weekend to Lexi. So Andrea Denver is finally married, which is definitely sad. And I still think that him and Paige could have gotten married. Like that could have been her. But we're just going to have to see what happens. I mean, there's a bunch of rumors about Kyle cheating right now. And I want to check right now too live. Let's pull up Amanda Batula's. Ooh, right when I open. I mean, there is a source close to the couple set the record straight in an exclusive statement to Betches after divorce rumors started circulating from a Dumas tip. Kyle and Amanda are very much together. While Amanda was sadly not able to make it to Andrea's wedding, they have another destination wedding in Italy this summer, and they're looking forward to spending time away together. It's killing Kyle that he can't be with her right now as these rumors circulate. I mean, to me, where there's smoke, there's fire typically. I don't think Kyle is stupid enough to cheat. Like I have only seen Kyle out in New York City one time, and he did stay out like as late as I was out that night, which was like till 2 or 3 in the morning. And he spent the entire night speaking to somebody that I know is just a girlfriend of his and is not a romantic connection. And so if I didn't know that, I would think like, oh my God, I saw Kyle talking to this girl like all night till 3 in the morning at the bar. But once I knew that they were just friends, it's like, okay, I could see how a rumor would start about him. But now the rumor that started about him now is that the girl that does social media for Loverboy, I mean, you can go online and pretty much look up a picture of her if you just like, Google what I'm talking about. She is also married. And I think that's why it's also scandalous, because they're on these trips, these Loverboy trips together. And I think that they're spending time talking and flirting the whole time. And people are like, who the hell is this girl? But she might just be working for Loverboy. They could just be friends. The fact that Amanda's not in Italy at Andrea's wedding is sus. Like her looking forward to spending time away from Kyle, that does not sound good. You don't want to not go to Italy with your husband for a wedding. So to me, yes, there is definitely something going on here. I don't think it's necessarily cheating. I don't know if they're also doing the Scandival version of trying to get ratings up and like keep the Summer House fire alive for next season. Like maybe they're playing into the game a little bit too. Who knows what the truth is? This is, again, why I love Summer House, because they always are keeping us a little bit guessing. They're not exposing and showing us all the hands they're playing like Real Houses of New Jersey. Wow, a lot of stuff going on in the Summer House. I can't wait to see what happens this upcoming episode. And yeah, that was my number one most talked about moment of the week. So we're going to have to stay tuned to see if Kyle is cheating, if Lindsay is pregnant, what is really going on, and when they're going to pick up cameras again, because it is, Tuesday, June 11th now. They usually start filming by the end of July. So they still have like 6 weeks. Oh no, not the end of July. That was the COVID season. They usually start filming by 4th of July. So that's coming up in 3 weeks. So we're going to have to wait and see when they pick up cameras and who is back in the summer house and how it goes. So yeah, that was my whole episode for the week, you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me as always. I'm so happy to be back in New York again. I'm going to a summer house watch party on Thursday. And I also want to announce that I'm going to be starting writing in a Substack. And that is a writing blog kind of subscription where you can sign up and you will get emailed immediately when I write new blogs. And they're all going to be Bravo TV and reality TV related. So if you're interested in reading some more personal anecdotes about how I got into Housewives, how some of my really deep personal opinions and how I relate to some of these Bravo celebrities and reality TV stars. So I have a lot more to say that I wouldn't, probably use this podcast for, but I want to get out. I love writing. I've always been into freelancing and I've been wanting to get back into it for a while. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, make sure you go leave me a 5-star review right now. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, leave a comment. Please, you guys, help me. Anything helps me get eyes on this podcast. Go check out that viral video that I posted. It's of Northwest. It's pinned on my profile on my Instagram at BellaTalksTV. And just make sure you guys keep in touch with me. Like, hit me up on my DMs. Let me know if you have any juicy gossip. And I will hopefully be back to record as soon as possible with you all. So have a great day, a great rest of your week. And I love you. Ciao, Bellas.